In 2023, the Chinese yuan has ascended to the position of the second most widely utilized currency in global trade, trailing only the US dollar. This underscores its considerable influence and hints at its growing potential as a key currency in the future. Recent data from the international SWIFT system reveals that the Chinese yuan has surpassed the euro, securing the second spot in worldwide trade settlements. This achievement signifies a noteworthy milestone in China's ongoing efforts to internationalize its currency. Despite Western media narratives predicting the Chinese economy's decline, the International Monetary Fund has revised its growth forecast for China in 2023, upgrading it from the initial 5% to 5.4%. Looking ahead to 2024, the IMF has also increased China's GDP growth projection from 4.2% to 4.6%. In contrast, other countries like Germany are experiencing a contraction of 0.3% in their economy. France anticipates a slowed economic growth of 1%, and economists caution that the UK may be at risk of a recession. So, in short, China is performing favorably when compared to the majority of developed nations. Welcome back to another exciting episode of our channel. Innovation World brings you China's innovation stories, projects, and growing influence in different parts of the world. If you are new to the channel and enjoy learning about fast-paced modernity, especially China's development and growing power, you will find our videos intriguing. In this video, we will delve into the remarkable journey of the Chinese renminbi, which has become the second most utilized currency in trade finance despite facing a challenging year. Let's continue now. The rise of the Chinese yuan. As of September 2023, the yuan constituted 5.8% of international payments, marking a notable increase from 4.82% in August. This figure represents the highest share the yuan has held in the past 5 years. Despite this uptick, the US dollar continues to maintain its dominance in global trade, securing an 84.15% share in September, a slight uptick from 83.95% in August. Meanwhile, the euro has slipped to the third position in international payments, with its share decreasing to 5.43% in September from 6.43% in August. The Japanese yen and the Saudi rial follow suit, ranking 4th and 5th, respectively. This development unfolds as China extends its economic influence globally. While the yuan's share of global payments remains relatively small compared to the size of China's economy, it has steadily increased from 1.81% approximately 5 years ago. The ascent of the yuan in international trade settlements mirrors China's growing economic prowess and its endeavors to establish the yuan as a global reserve currency. However, it's essential to note that the yuan's share remains marginal compared to the dollar's dominant 46.6%. China introduced the yuan as its currency system in the late 1800s, and it has maintained a currency peg since 1994. This peg, coupled with China's robust export economy, has facilitated the yuan's traction in global trade. Recent data from SWIFT indicates a shift in the global financial landscape, with the yuan's escalating prominence signaling China's expanding role in international trade and finance. A contributing factor to the surge in yuan usage is the influx of companies seeking to borrow from mainland banks due to their exceptionally low interest rates. Firms are flocking to China's debt markets, issuing record amounts of yuan-denominated bonds and borrowing extensively, capitalizing on the relatively higher funding costs elsewhere. This trend is counterintuitive as international investors express concerns about geopolitical tensions and sluggish growth in the world's second-largest economy. Foreign entities, including BMW and Crédit Agricole SA, as well as overseas units of Chinese companies, have raised a record 125.5 billion yuan through the issuance of panda bonds during the January-October period, reflecting a 61% surge from the same period last year. Notably, the National Bank of Canada secured 1 billion yuan from the sale of a 3-year panda bond at a coupon of 3.2%, representing a cost-effective alternative compared to rates of 4.5% at home. Furthermore, the issuance of dim sum bonds in Hong Kong reached a record high, surging 62% from a year ago to 343 billion yuan during the first 8 months. The issuance of yuan-denominated loans in the city also witnessed a substantial increase. The globalization of the Chinese yuan. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos about China's development, power, and influence on the world. Let's continue now. The increasing share of yuan in cross-border payments signifies its growing acceptance for cross-border settlements and payments by numerous countries, underscoring global investors' confidence in our country's long-term economic development. There is a rising demand for yuan in international reserves, payment and settlement transactions, as well as investment and financing activities. Throughout the year, significant milestones have marked the internationalization of the yuan. It has surpassed the euro to become the second largest currency in Brazil's foreign exchange reserves, witnessed Argentina utilizing the yuan for the first time to repay foreign debts, and observed Pakistan making its inaugural payment for Russian crude oil purchases in yuan. More recently, the People's Bank of China, the central bank, has granted authorization to yuan clearing banks in Pakistan and Cambodia. Additionally, an agreement has been signed with the Central Bank of Serbia to establish a yuan clearing bank in the country. Furthermore, the Chinese bank and the Saudi central bank have inked a local currency swap agreement involving 50 billion yuan or 26 billion Saudi riyals. While the US dollar maintains its current dominance, there are discernible movements and indications suggesting a growing number of countries are steering away from the dollar, favoring trade in their local currencies, notably the Chinese Yuan. Even France, a G7 nation and a close ally of the United States, completed its first yuan-settled LNG trade, replacing dollars in energy transactions. Notably, within BRICS, the inclusion of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran implies an increased likelihood of the petrodollar's collapse. With these Middle Eastern countries joining BRICS, the alliance now comprises the world's largest crude oil exporters, complemented by China and India as the top two crude oil importers globally. While the Chinese yuan may experience a surge in BRICS expansion trade, it seems improbable that Saudi Arabia, the world's leading oil exporter, will be quick to abandon the dollar. The rial, the kingdom's currency, has been pegged to the dollar since the 1980s, and the Saudis rely on dollars to support it. Additionally, there is no indication from Saudi rulers of an imminent shift of this magnitude. Nevertheless, the trend suggests a growing demand for yuan in international reserves, payment and settlement, as well as investment and financing activities. Is the dollar at risk? The jeopardy to the supremacy of the American currency is not a novel occurrence, and the decline in total global dollar reserves held by central banks has been witnessed before. However, the current situation is unprecedented, presenting an unparalleled threat to the dollar's dominance. Analysts and economists are contemplating the possibility of countries divesting their US dollar reserves, particularly the potential ramifications of a substantial sell-off by some of the most significant holders. China, holding the largest reserves at $3.8 trillion, is joined by India with $617 billion, Russia with $589 billion, and Saudi Arabia with $554 billion. If these nations were to sell or reduce a portion of their reserves, especially in a coordinated manner, it could significantly undermine the strength and reputation of the US dollar. The surge in gold purchases by central banks worldwide last year, the highest since 1950, reflects their awareness of the fragility of the current monetary system. This strategic move is aimed at combating rising inflation and financial instability by acquiring an asset deemed perennially valuable. Undoubtedly, the dollar is confronting its most substantial threat to date. While it remains a predominant currency, its influence is gradually diminishing. We would like to take a moment here and appreciate you all for commenting and sharing your opinions. Your insights always impress us. The question looms, will the dollar face a collapse and lose its dominance as the world's currency? Share your thoughts and comments below. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence over the world. Until the next video, stay tuned.